Hello, everyone. Internet is being a little picky tonight. Excuse me. Hello, my stamping friends. Thank you for joining me tonight on mystery card number 79. Please be sure to comment, to give me a thumbs up, to share, whatever you like to do. Be sure to comment. If you're following along, please let me. Hi, Vesta. If you're following along, please let me know. And I am going to get started. Having a little bit of technical stuff going on, Vesta. We've been having a little bit of problem with the internet. We went to see them, and I'm going to have to do something here. Okay, so let me put you down to my desk to show you what I'm doing, what I'm working on. There we go. Hi, Marilyn. Glad you could join us. Just trying to get myself situated here. Okay. I am so glad you cannot see my craft room. It's a disaster. My craft fair is this coming Friday and Saturday. So I've been working feverishly, project after project. Some of them I can't finish right away, so I put it aside and then I go back to it, whatever. And so I've got piles of stuff. Today I made some good progress. So, but anyway, let's get going. Tonight I'm featuring the pine tree trimmings for the sentiments. I asked you to cut some cardstock, 2 pieces. One of them is 5 1/8 by 7 5/8 scored at a half, 1 1/8 on all sides. Then one piece, 1 3/4 by 4 3/4, and punch a notch in that. And then, yes, thank you. Good luck with my craft fair. I'll talk about it a little bit more after. And then cut a piece of cardstock 5 by 7 1/4. This one you're going to score at 5/8, 3 1/2, 4 1/8, and 7. You need a small piece of coordinating DSP, 2 3/8 by 4 3/4. You need liquid glue, dimensionals, glue dots, and I added it after. You need tear and tape. I forgot to put that on here. You need a stamp set for your sentiments, so you can use in your images, or you can use ephemera. Coordinating ink, coordinating embellishments, and ribbon, and you need a hole punch. Okay, are we ready to start? Okay, so the first one says fold and burnish your pieces. So there's 3 of them that we had folds on. So I'm going to move this out of my way so I have more room here. And we're going to fold and burnish all these 3. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom of your box. I don't know if you can see all those lines, but I'm going to burnish them all. Actually, I want to go this way, only because I like those. I don't like those mounds on the outside of my cards. Make sure when you burnish it, you're also lined up too. I made some of these for the craft fair last year. I didn't make many because I decided to try them at the last minute, and they were really pretty when they were done. So I only made about, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. And they sold so quick. So this year I've made lots more. And I wanted to show you how to do it because it's very easy to make. There's nothing to it. And they're so pretty, so fun when they're done. Okay, so this is going to be what we call our top. So it's got 2 tabs on it. So let's do these. There it is. Did everyone have a nice Thanksgiving? Ours was very busy, but yes, we had a nice Thanksgiving. Okay, so that's, and then there was that one piece that I told you to cut and score in half. 5 by 4 7/8 or 5 8 7/8, I think it was. Okay, so let's burnish that one. I'm going to put that aside, and we're going to put this aside for now. So we want the piece with all the score lines, okay? Now in each corner, you've got a square and then kind of a rectangle. So let's cut that right off, okay? On all 4 corners. Just the last fold, corner, and it's kind of like a rectangle. So this is what we call a treat box, but it is also a gift card holder. You'll see that when we get further on. People that bought them said to me they would buy them for their neighbors, because I always give them a little something, and they can put a gift card in there. You can put money in there. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so now see the second set of squares and little triangle. We're just going to cut that up to that second fold line, and then we're going to miter the edges just slightly. I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. Sometimes these little pieces are a pain. There. Come on. Okay, try that again. And sometimes what you're really just getting off when you miter is that lump that we get underneath. See that little lump there? So when we miter that, we get rid of that. Okay, that's 2. Anybody else here? I cannot believe that it's already December. I do not know where this year went to. It is truly amazing. Okay, so we have that. So now you need your tear and tape. I'm not even taking out my... Okay, it says remove the little squares on each corner, cut up the second set of squares, and miter. Okay, so get your tear and tape out. And I said add tear and tape as demonstrated because it was too hard to write all that. So this is going to be my inside. I'm turning it this way. Okay, now those 4 pieces that we mitered, you're going to put a piece of tear and tape on each one of those. So this is what we're calling the outside. Yeah, it's so hard to do craft fairs. You never know what's going to sell and what's not. I made some of those. I'm sure you've all seen it, the blind date with a book. I made a couple of the blind date with the book. I made one blind date with a puzzle for younger kids. I made blind date with a cook and did a recipe book and stuff like that. So I had already planned all these things. I had all the materials, and that's pretty much what I worked on today. And then you cover them this special way. And some lady who on Stampin' Up! Craft Fair said she did blind date with a book, and she said not one sold. I said, oh no. So I'm glad I didn't make a ton of them. Okay, so remove your backings. You just never know what's going to sell. Just hope for the best. I look at Pinterest, see what seems to be popular, and try to go from there. Now, we're going to glue this little tab that we just put tape on the inside of the end of the box, okay? Make sure your edges are lined up, and you're going to push it down well, okay? Do the same thing on the other one. And make sure your corners are lined up. Okay. And then the third one. And my fourth one. Okay. I should have done all of this at one time, but I made a mistake. So now we're going to put tear and tape on the insides of these. I was supposed to tell you to flip it over and put it on those sides, but I didn't. So let's put tear and tape on the inside of these, because we're going to fold them down and inside. Okay? You really should have, I had it backwards. I should have flipped it the other way and done that, but I didn't because I was talking. So let's just run it down here. It'll still work. Just not as easy to do it this way. Just a little more cumbersome. So you're doing it on all four flaps. Vesta, are you working along with me? I know, Marilyn, you usually just watch. Vesta, you working with me? Going crooked here. Everybody's so busy with their whatever they're getting ready to do. I have class this Wednesday, but I canceled it. You are? Good. Debbie's here. Who's Debbie? Did I miss something? Well, I don't see it, but hi, Debbie. Okay, so burnish those tear and tape pieces. And we're going to start with the sides first. We did that. We're doing this one here. So take the top off your tear and tape. And you're going to turn that in at the fold. Press it real good. Do the other side. Now the reason why we do both of the sides first is so when you do this, put this one in, it helps keep those sides in. That's the purpose of doing the two sides first. Okay. I'm watching. My day is very busy on Mondays. Babysit from 6 a.m. till dinner time. Poor you. Hi, Debbie. You shared. Thank you. You're watching from Southwest West Michigan. Well, welcome. Did you get snow? I know it's cold here. Okay, then we're gonna fold in our end tabs, and then that's gonna help keep those little tabs down, and it's also gonna help keep our little sides down. Okay. Did you get snow yet, Debbie, in Michigan? Okay, now we're gonna burnish those down, okay? That really does a difference. Thank you for joining me, Debbie. Snow tomorrow in PA. Ugh. My kids, I'm from New Hampshire. My kids live in New Hampshire, and my brother, and they said they got snow coming too. Okay, so now we're done the box. You got snow, Debbie? Ugh. I missed the first snowstorm. That's all. The first when the ground is nice and white for the first time. I missed that. Okay, so this. Oh, I did this wrong. What did I do? I scored this wrong. I hope you didn't. Did I make a mistake with that? Let's see. 5/8. Where's my measurements? 3.5. I'm way off. Let me cut a new piece. We'll be right back. I'm sorry. I hope yours isn't messed up either. Okay, I got it right now. So, we had a snow day today. What in heck? So you had no school? Well, I'm going to make this do because I cut it a little bit too short, but it will work. Okay, tearing tape on this should have been 5/8. Looks bigger than 5/8. No, it is 5/8. Okay. Is yours okay, Vesta? Okay, so I'm going to put tearing tape on that thin end that I have, which yours should be a little bigger than that. I think I cut it wrong, which is par for the course because I've been having crazy days lately. Okay, so let me take that apart. Now this is your box top. It's going to slide over the box. So put that with this one against this one. So fold the two flaps down and line up one with the other. Make sure it's straight and even. Okay. I did something terribly wrong here. Is yours messed up too, Vesta? I do not know what I did wrong. Let me find my original directions. See if I copied that wrong. Okay, I apologize. So this piece that's a cover is supposed to be 5 1/8 by 7 5/8. So what did I say? Five and eight by 7, and that's the wrong one for this one here. I'm so sorry. So this should be 5 1/8 by 7 5/8. That's what I said for the box, which is the wrong one. I'm so sorry, Vesta. My top is fine? Good, okay. Okay, so let's fold and burnish those down. No, I got it wrong again. What the heck? The lid should be 5/8, 3 1/2, 4 1/8. I did that wrong. And 7. Yes, 4 1/8. So I got an extra fold here. Let me fix that. Oh my Lord. Hold on a second. 5/8. 5/8. 3 1/2. 4 1/8. That's the one I was missing. Okay. Debbie, if this is your first time joining me, it's not usually like this. Okay, so this is what it should look like. I usually have this much, but I'm a little frazzled these days. Okay, so let's take tear and tape and put it on one of those flap ends. Oh, come on. Jeez. Okay, burnish it. And take the tape off and put it together. Mine's going to have a little extra little fold in it, but it's not going to make a difference. Okay, so now line that up. Line up the end and the fold to each other. you're giving me a hard time. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, I can, oh, you know what? I might just put it on the top. No, I don't want that on the top. I can fix that one. Nobody will notice. And this goes inside there. Nobody's going to notice that. Okay. I apologize, Vesta. Folding it here, so that's the end. Okay. Now I asked you to cut a piece. That was 4 7/8 by 5 and do a notch in it. Okay. This is going to go inside this little card, and that's where the gift card can go. So if you don't want to add a gift card pocket, it's your choice. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm going to do the gift card piece on this one. It has been really cold here, but we don't get snow, so it just gets cold. We occasionally get a little bit of like a dusting, or last year I think we got one day that was like 3/4 of an inch to an inch in some areas. But it disappears because our ground is always so hot. It doesn't stay. It does not stay long. And I'm a retired teacher, and one day when I first moved here, I was teaching and I was on lunch duty, and it started to snow out. So the kids were all like, "Oh, we're going to have early dismissal." Oh, I said, "No, that's flurries. You're not going to have dismissal for flurries." They said, "Yes, sir, that's snow." Well, it's snow, but it's only a little flurry. It's not going to go anywhere. No, they did not get early release. Okay, so add that notch cardstock to the inside of the 4 7/8 by 5 inch card. So I just leave a tiny border around it. There. Burnish that down. Okay, so that's going to be our gift card holder. Add your DSP to the front of this. So I chose the Modern Christmas. It's so pretty. So you'll see in a minute why I chose this, because I think whatever you add on the inside of the drawer really makes a difference too. And I'm not going to do all the little chocolates, but I'm going to show you one that's complete. Make sure you're putting this on the right side. You're putting it on the side that has the notched gift card holder. Were the measurements correct on the instructions? No, not that cover sheet. I got the two pieces mixed up. So I can fix that after this live, and I'll repost that. I apologize. Okay. Now you're going to add, center and adhere this to the top front. Now I can't decide if I want to do this. No, I'm not going to. Come, this is bunching up here. Okay, I'm going to put it on this side. So you're centering and adhering the card to what's going to be your front. You don't want the seam to show in the front when you're, see, if I took this way, I would see my seam. So you want to put that on the down. Okay, so now I'm going to center and adhere this on my front. Now another thing you could do, you could put another layer underneath your DSP if you'd like. I'll show you one that I did that with too. You can put a layer of different color. It just dresses it up even more. For tonight, I just did the simplest version. So, but I'll show you the other versions as well. Okay. Okay. So now that's going to go on like this. So you've got a card and a gift card holder and a box. Okay, that's the end of number 5. Number 6. Stamp a sentiment on a piece of the scrap paper I told you to get. And I am going to do Sending Christmas Wishes. It's been my favorite one this year in this set. I guess that's what happens when you rush too much. I was rushing too much to get the directions done up and get on with my other stuff I had to do, so it's my own fault. I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to center that in here. Need to re-ink my pad, I think. Center that here. You're welcome, Marilyn. I will redo that. Okay, so that's my sentiment. Now, of course, you can put a sentiment on the inside as well if you'd like. Another sentiment. But I'm not doing that tonight. I'm just doing... Now, there's a tiny difference in the box and the cover, so you can make sure that it's in there nicely and not sticking out. It's just like an 1/8 of an inch on each end. Okay, let me take that over and cut it, die cut it. I'll be right back. Yes, it is a busy time of the year. Sure is. My sentiment. Put my die back there. I'm going to save this piece because we're going to need that again. So you center your sentiment wherever you'd like it. Now I'm going to be adding a couple of these gold ferns. So I'm going to put mine down a little bit lower. And I'm going to add these ferns right to the back of this so they stay up a little bit, because I'm going to put dimensionals underneath. So I'm going to put a little glue on the front of this fern so that I can add it to the back of my sentiment. Okay. And I'm going to put the second one right alongside. My craft room is such a mess. I'll be glad when this craft fair is over so I can get it back to normal. There. Whoops. Yep, stick to my finger. Okay, now I'm going to add dimensionals to that. See if I can find some big ones. Oh, I'm going to use this. That way I can run it right along the edge and hold those ferns on. Yeah, I missed the ferns. Okay, Now I got them. And then I'll put 2 down here. Okay. Miss the trash. I miss the trash a lot of times. Ugh. Okay, so now I'm going to center this here. Now another thing you could also do is before you put the card on, I'll show you when I did it, you can run some ribbon that way. It's crooked. That's better. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of 6. Oh, I got 2 6s. Okay, so you're going to take your hole punch, take your drawer out. You're going to find the center of your box by measuring. So it's 2 3/4. So it's roughly 1, almost a half, 3/8, 1 3/8. So you're going to punch a hole. Start turning it around here. Go about halfway between the back of the box and the edge, okay? Just double check you're pretty much in the center. Okay. Now I'm using this ribbon. Thank you, Vesta. So I did these a few times and I ended up saying, oh, I wanted only this long, and then I couldn't tie my knot. So I'm making a little extra long, and that way once I insert it, I can still have space to make my knot. You'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. So I cut this one about, let me show you. This is about a little over 7 inches, okay? Fold it in half. Go through your hole. And what I did was I stuck my scissors in that loop so it wouldn't come out while I was trying to tie my knot. And you want to tie the knot somewhere around 1 inch away from the ends. Okay, so it's easier said than done, but it can be done. I did several. Of course, I've got glue on my fingers, so it's trying to stick to that. Okay, take a deep breath. So you want to put the 2 pieces together and make 1 knot. You'll see why in a minute. Stay there. I got the 2 of them? I do. Okay. So you're going to pull your knot and take your scissors out. Now this knot is going to come through the hole, and it's okay, because that's added, I don't know, prettiness. So now I took a piece of tear and tape. I spread these 2 pieces of ribbon, and I spread them and pull it as tight as I can so that that knot is right at the opening. And then I took my tear and tape and put it on those 2 wings on the inside to hold them, to secure them, okay? So what I did was I started with one side and then did the other. You see what I'm doing here? Oh, I just took the tape right off it with my sticky finger. Having a good night tonight. Okay, so the tear and tape's on the inside. That's going to help secure this a little bit. You with me, Vesta? Okay, now that scrap piece of paper you have, You want to cut a little strip less than the side of the box. This is a 1/2 inch high, so you want it to be less than a 1/2 inch. So I've been cutting them about this width, because I don't want it sticking up. And then the box is 2 3/4. So you want to cut it less than 2 3/4, okay? So 2 3/4, 2 5/8 would be good. And then this is going to go on the inside to also assist with holding that ribbon in there, okay? So we've got the tear and tape down first, which is going to help us. And then I got to move that tail, it's trying to stick out. And we're just going to cover it with that piece of cardstock with glue. So that reinforces it, because people are going to be pulling on it and opening it and closing it. So we need a little extra reinforcement on that ribbon to keep it in place. Ask me how I know. So now I'm just putting that on the inside, try to center it left to right. I'm covering my ribbon ends and that tear and tape. Okay, so hold that for a second. Okay, that's good. So that's cut a small piece of cardstock to cover the ends. Okay. And then it says glue it on the inside of the drawer. Okay. Now this is going to go in here. Fits in just perfectly. And it also, like I said, has just a hair on each end so that it's tucked in there. And now you can open the drawer and put what you'd like in there. So let me show you a few. I think the black and the white is so pretty. So here's one of the black and white ones I made, but this one didn't have the card. I just made it flat. So watch this. Ta-da! So I matched the paper. I put a gold layer underneath it, so I matched the paper in here. These are nougats, whatever you call them. So I did every other one gold and every other one black with the gold stars. Okay. And then I did, I have like 7 of them I've got here. So this is one like what we just made, and there's your gift card holder. And then you wrap to match here. In that case, I decided to alternate the gold and the black, but this one I did, black. This one I did just like that. And this one I put on the inside rather than the way we just did it. And it's not quite as sturdy, but let me show you a couple others that I did. So this is another one. This one does not have the card, but when you pull this, you have a little Merry Christmas that pops up. So this one I did 2 different papers. And all you do is fold that back down and slide it back in so that whenever they pull it, it pops up. So the purpose of that little piece that we added inside, 10 nuggets fit in here, Marilyn, was so that when you make one of these to pop up, that goes behind that little piece of cardboard that we just put in there, okay? So it'll stick to the tear and tape. You put more tear and tape when you're going to do this. So this is I cut 2, one with just to line the back. I'm going to find my glue thing, eraser. So you don't see that. So that's the window sheet. And you cut it somewhere between a 1/2 and a 1/4, somewhere in between there. I've gotten different people say different things. And then you cut it 2 inches long, 2.5 inches long, and you only leave a little bit out here. You fold it at the bottom. Yeah, that one's not a good one because I covered it. Let me show you another one. So this one's a little Christmas tree. So I have "Oh Christmas Tree," and then pop. So let me see if this one's the one that has it. Nope, this one doesn't have it either. Must be the third one. And here's the, yeah, I think this one has it. So this one doesn't have the card again, and it pops up. So this one shows it. So you cut it about 2.5 inches. You fold it. Let me take them all out. You fold it so that it comes here, and then you leave the balance of it there for weight. So when the chocolates are on it, and you've got it glued inside here behind that strip that we just added, okay? In this case, I didn't put another one behind it, but then you put your candies in there, and it weights it down a little bit too. Okay, does that make sense? Did I mess this up? Oops. Now, when you use the gold cardstock, it's a little bit thicker than the DSP, so these are a little bit tighter in here than just DSP, but it works. Okay. So in these here, they have a pop-up instead of a gift card holder. The one we just made is like this one that has a gift card holder as well as the chocolates. These have a pop-up instead of the gift card holder. That makes sense? So we just slide it back in there. And while I'm waiting for the craft fair, I've just been letting them sit up because I don't want to put any undue pressure on them until I get to my craft fair. Then I'll put them down inside. All right? So this is like those, but I didn't put a pop-up in this one. But I did put an extra layer here, which I did on these too. I put extra layers. And then this one had an extra layer with the gift card holder, and then the one we did tonight with the gift card holder. Okay? So you get 10. The chocolates are, if you use nuggets, you wrap it with 1 1.125 wide by 3 inches long. And then what I did was I put a glue dot on the back of this piece, glued it to the chocolate, and then put a glue dot on the back of this one, and then it stays like that. Okay, does that make sense? Depends what you use, depends on how much you're going to, how much you have to cut. All right. Okay, so that was glue the small piece inside the drawer, embellish as desired. On mine, I chose not to. Oh, yes, I did. I got embellishments here somewhere. No, I didn't. I decided this was enough on this one. But you do what you'd like. And obviously in the different colors, it's pretty. I probably could have added more gold to that one. Like this one here, I put the green, which adds a little more. But each one is their own, is different, you know. I've got a couple more, but I want to show you these, the ones with the pop-outs. Thank you, Vesta. You're welcome. Thank you, Marilyn. They're not hard to make, as you can see. I will rewrite the directions materials list as soon as I get off here, and I'll repost it. Okay, I'm very apologetic for that, but I'm not surprised. I was rushing. Okay, everybody have a great week. Be sure to let everybody know, share, post yours, and I really appreciate you joining me tonight. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.